readers,
reviewers,
Freakout book taggers.
lend us your ears. Welcome back to the channel. Today on the Brothers Gwynne, myself, Will, and my brother Ed are going to be doing the mid-year Freakout Tag, which we did last year, and we're doing it again this year. Thank you so much to Abby Salter for tagging us, for nominating us. Yes, she's got a great channel. Do check it out, and thanks again for nominating us.
And we love seeing Abby's answers to these questions, which we will be diving and delving into very soon.
Yes, so they are all in the description below to the people who want to join in on this, and we'll tag a few people at the end. And we're just going to go through these questions, and we're going to give our answers. We're halfway through the year now. 6 months are gone, which is pretty crazy.
Wow.
And so now, that's why it's called the mid-year Freakout Tag, because we're freaking out about our goals and everything. But anyway, let's do it. Ed, what is question 1?
I can't actually see the question. It's on the laptop over there, but I can't see it because my eyes are really bad. So
I remember. So it was, what is our favourite read of 2022 yet?
Mine was Dreaming the Eagle by Amanda Scott. Now, this is a book about Boudica. It's historical fiction, and it is the first of a... What's it when it's 4 books?
Quartet.
A quartet, of course, a quartet. Like I say, quintology, and then...
Quintology.
I don't even know what that is.
I do like that word, quintology.
Is it? Is it a quintology?
No, it's a quartet, but I meant I like the word.
So Boudica is a great start to that series. Dreaming the Eagle, it's wonderful. It's a really nice book. It's lovely. There's lots of death and mayhem at the end, but it is
very awesome.
It really pulls on your heartstrings, and it is just beautifully written. What were you?
Mine is Empire of the Vampire by J. Kristoff. It was very close with Game of Thrones. We're not counting rereads, by the way. So like Hunger of the Gods, The Fellowship of the Ring, The Hobbit, all this stuff doesn't count. Just new books. But yes, Empire of the Vampire, absolutely loved it. This chronicler structure, absolutely adored it. Thought it was brilliant. The cyclical nature of it. Oh, it's done so well. Yes, so Gabriel de Leon is a fantastic leading character.
I love the way you say his name.
Gabriel de Leon. You can't say it with an accent, even though I've got the worst French accent possible.
What did you say when you were compere?
Oh, I'd say something like the joie de vivre. And
nice,
instead of asking the person
who
spoke...
It's all over the shoulders.
Joie de vivre. Instead of asking the person who spoke French to say it, I was asked, and I had to practice. I had to practice saying that for a long time. But anyway, yeah, Empire of the Vampire, absolutely adored it. It's a chunky one, but I just blitzed through it. It's so easy to read, and I'd recommend to many. And also, we have a video diving into this and delving, but not too deep. We don't want drums in the deep going off. We've got a video talking about Empire of the Vampire if you want to see if this is a book for you.
And the next one is best sequel that you have read in 2022. I'm going to say Mark Lawrence's The Liar's Key. This is the second book of the trilogy with Jalen and Snorri, which they're so funny. They have proper Greatcoats vibes, if you like Sebastian de Castell, which we happen to do, don't we?
Yes, we do.
But yeah, so I mean, Mark Lawrence is a great writer, and I'm really enjoying this trilogy. I love the Broken Empire. That trilogy, but I'm really enjoying this one as well, surprisingly so, because it's very different tone. I thought they'd be similar, but they're not at all. First trilogy is very dark. This trilogy is set in the same world, same kind of place, almost similar time, but it's very comedic, but there are also some wonderful moments that have proper tearjerkers as well. So, yep.
And my favourite sequel, so it is The Hunger of the Gods, but we're not including rereads or anything, so I am instead going to be choosing A Fool's Hope by Mike Shackle. I absolutely love this second instalment to the series. The third is being released very soon, and it's going to be the end of the trilogy, the finale until the last. The name fills me with dread. But yeah, A Fool's Hope is absolutely brilliant. I loved We Are the Dead last year, and I've left quite a big gap before reading this, but I just fell straight back into it and love being reunited with these characters. It's such a good read, and more people need to pick this series up.
Very nice. Number 3 then is, what new release have you not read yet but you want to?
What did I put down? Right, I've just reminded myself, I put down The Lion by Connor Igodin. This is a beginning of a new ancient Greek series, but it's kind of tied to the duology, which I loved, called Athenian. The two books of which makes that duology are The Gates of Athens and Protector. absolutely love both of them, so I cannot wait to read The Lion. I think Colin Gooden, he's a fantastic writer. I loved his Conqueror series, but I think that he's just got this style. He's just really hit the mark with creating that tone and atmosphere that I love, being attached to that ancient Greek world. But he's also it's quite educational at the same time. I'm learning a lot about the Greek states, the conflicts with each other, and I'm not quite sure exactly how authentic it is, but he lists a lot of his sources at the end and names specific bits which he has altered. So by that, because there's not too many points, I imagine the rest is relatively true to what we know anyway.
Very nice. And what I chose is Engine of Empires by Richard Ford, which Elliot Brooks did a great video talking about how wonderful that book is. So yeah, I definitely want to check that out. I don't know too much else about it, but it sounds right up my street, and it's one of those books that I saw the cover and I was like, I definitely need to read that soon.
Oh, great, yeah. Elliot Brooks, I think she said that every book is basically compared to Game of Thrones, but this is one that is justified in being likened to it.
What is your most anticipated release for the next half of the year?
Mine is going to be The Children of Gods and Fighting Men by Shauna Lawless. This comes out on September 2nd, I believe. And this is historical fantasy, and it is inspired by Irish mythology and Irish tales. So that is just awesome. Some Celtic historical fantasy. That's
we
what
need
I've
more
been
Irish
waiting for.
Celtic vibes up there, don't we?
Yeah, because I love historical fantasy. David Gemmell's Trojan series, which I'm 2 installments into. I love the Winter Night trilogy by Catherine Arden and Shelley Parker Chan's She Who Became the Sun. And so, yeah, it's really the kind of that new movement, isn't it, within fantasy? It's becoming very prominent, and I'm really happy to see more, and especially this Irish mythology inspired The Children of Gods and Fighting Men. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading that.
Good title as well, and a nice cover. And yeah, Shauna Lawless seems like a great person. I've spoken to her a few times on Twitter, and definitely looking forward to reading that one. I was going to choose that one, but since William mentioned it, I thought I'd be sneaky and mention another one, which is Cormac McCarthy is in my top 3 authors ever, must be. So The Passenger and Stella Maris is coming out this year. So a duology, 2 books coming out within a month of each other. We've been waiting so long since he wrote The Road, and then he wrote No Country for Old Men.
But No Country for Old Men, he wrote the screenplay first, and then
exactly. So yeah, I cannot wait to read a little bit more Cormac McCarthy this year.
It's going to be awesome.
Oh yeah. And the next one is, what's your biggest disappointment this year?
Mine is sadly The Name of the Rose by Umberto Eco. That's it, isn't it? Yeah, Umberto Eco. So this is kind of a thriller mystery inspired in a medieval period, like in a cathedral.
It's a classic, isn't it? This meant to be.
It is. I know. I was really upset. There are fantastic bits. Umberto Eco has a brilliant grip on language. He is fantastic. But I just found the style to be a bit too dry. I've read Dissolution just a bit before, and it's quite a similar vibe, but set in England instead of that Italian vibe. And I thought that Dissolution was a lot better. It's like, you know, those crime, like dropping the hints, the hooks. And I thought that they're a bit too dragged out in The Name of the Rose. And by the end, I was just like, please move on a bit quicker. And so, yeah, it is a shame it didn't click with me. I was really looking forward to this. But I'm still happy I gave it a shot, because there are parts which I think are still brilliant. So I've had quite a good reading year. There's none that I've DNF'd. I still got through this. It's just a shame I didn't like it. I thought I was going to love it. So yeah, that was a shame.
Yeah, we don't really DNF books, really, do we?
We don't. No.
I mean, we're pretty good at choosing books we know that we're going to like.
Yeah, there's so many books out there.
Usually, I don't have an answer for most disappointed, and usually have a bit of a I'm disappointed in this book because it was too good or something.
Yeah, because now it's over.
This time I do have an answer though. It is Tigana by Guy Gavriel Kay. I've been meaning to try Guy Gavriel Kay for a long, long time. Everyone says he's absolutely wonderful, great author. Wasn't for me.
Just wasn't. You were very sad at that one.
I was really disappointed. I was really upset because I really wanted to like it, but it just felt so slow, and all the characters just didn't like any of them. It felt very, very tedious.
That is a shame.
I mean, I saw lots of people say he's got really nice prose. It's really smooth. Unfortunately, I didn't really see that. I think if I think of wonderful prose in fantasy, I think of Robin Hobb. But yeah, it felt a little very, very bloated. Yeah, that's how I felt when I was reading it. What's the next question?
Yeah. Is it the
biggest surprise?
Biggest surprise, that's it.
Biggest surprise for me was Mike Shackle's We Are the Dead. I absolutely adored that book. Now, I say biggest surprise because I mean, William kept telling me it's great, and I was thinking, is it really? And I had seen Mike Shackle at Go Dance Fest. He did a little talk, and I thought, he seems like a really nice guy. I'm sure his book is really good as well. But I was surprised just how good it was, because it was absolutely phenomenal. I think it is in the best of fantasy, especially being released in a modern time.
Yeah, I absolutely adore it. It's very... It takes inspiration, you can tell, from a lot of other books, doesn't it? But it's so unique, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. We need to talk more about it, but we will be talking a lot more about it when the third installment is released. But yeah, my biggest surprise was Beyond Redemption by Michael R. Fletcher. I absolutely love this. It's got that kind of Greatcoats vibe in the main trio, but they hate each other. Yeah, which I thought you made that reference. Is really good. And yeah, I thought I'd enjoy this, but I kind of just went into it because Ed said that he really enjoyed it. I wasn't really thinking much more about it, and then I absolutely loved it. I thought this was just such a great read, so much fun, but there's depth to it as well. I think they're the best when there's like when there's tales with a lot of humour, like the First Law Tales trilogy by Joe Abercrombie, and as I just said, like the Greatcoats, and this now. When there's humour, I think that's really good, accompanying a lot of depth, because you see those character relationships thrive. Or wither, and I think Michael Fletcher explores humour in a really fantastic way that furthers the plot and characterisation, and just keeps you really entertained. And yeah, so that was my biggest surprise.
Favourite new author? This could be a debut author, or it could just be new to us. And for me, I mean, my favourite book was by Amanda Scott, so it's got to be by Amanda Scott. I've read 3 of her Boudica books now, and I absolutely love them. I think she's definitely an author that will go in my top list for certain.
Very nice. I think for me, I usually, if I think of favourite new author, I have to have read more than one instalment. So it would be Empire the Vampire, wouldn't it, or George R. R. Martin, because they're my favourite 2 books of the year, or even Justice of Kings by Richard Swan. But I have read a trilogy by Ben Kane, and I loved each and every one of them. So this is the Richard the Lionheart trilogy, the first of which is called Lionheart, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. So this is set in the 14th century, I believe. No, I'm very wrong. 12th century. Yeah, sorry, I had a little mind blip there. We should probably cut that out of the edit. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, so it's set in the 12th century, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. Really great seeing a lens on Richard the Lionheart. He's such a famous historical figure, but basically I think most that people know about him is he's intertwined somewhat with the legend of Robin Hood, isn't he? And that's all I knew anyway, and that he went on crusades as well. But yeah, this was really great trilogy that was written fantastically, and I'm going to be checking out a lot more Ben Kane in the future.
Very nice. Oh, let me look. Right, the next one is newest fictional crush. Now, I think Abby actually just said what's her the favourite male character that she's read this year, and then the next question is favourite female.
Because
so favourite.
I can't answer that.
Yeah, favourite male for me is someone called Wanderer from Ride the Wind. And that is a book about Cynthia Ann Parker, the story of Quanah Parker, a very famous Comanche chief in the 19th century. And Wanderer is a very stoic Comanche. He's a fantastic rider. He's a kind man as well. He teaches other people and the younger people, like the children as well, how to ride horses and all horse tricks and stuff like that. And it teaches Cynthia Ann Parker how to live off the land. And then, spoiler alert, eventually they fall in love. So it is a bit of a romance, but it's really nice.
Nice.
But it's really sad as well. It's actually really heartbreaking. It's devastating.
Oh, great.
Sob at the end. So
yeah.
It's really sad.
Right.
No, Will. I mean, it's.
Well, I think that'll lead on to one of the questions later on, won't it?
Maybe.
But my favourite female character is probably Valiana from The Greatcoats.
Nice.
I think that in the first, I've read the first 3 instalments. Going to read the 4th very soon. May have by the time this video is out. But who knows? Anyway, maybe in the first 2 instalments, Valiana. I think she's a good character, but I think that the main focus was that main trio, just fantastic. And then in book 3, I think the supporting cast really came into their own, and Valiana was fantastic. I think she really became a force unto her own, and I think that Falco can be quite frustrating sometimes, and then Valiana putting him straight was very funny.
Yeah.
But also lended to the tension of that kind of the divide of the people trying to take different plans, and it's just done in a really great way, and Valiana's a very well realised character who's been built slowly but surely over 3 instalments.
Very nice. The next one then is female. I mean, this would
Male.
actually be...
Favourite male.
We've just done male.
We've done female.
Really? I
Yeah.
said Wanderer.
Oh, I said female.
Oh, okay.
Alright,
Wanderer's a
we're
male.
going to do...
We'll do the other way round then.
Yeah.
So, my favourite female that I have encountered this year probably would be a crush as well. Boudica. I mean, any woman who can do the running mount.
Is your favourite character?
Pretty cool. And she's got lovely red hair as well. So, but yeah, no, Boudica is awesome. I mean, the book is about her from Amanda Scott's series. Dream of the Eagle, that is book 1. I mentioned it earlier. But Boudica is someone who all she wants is to look after her family and also look after her people as well. She's willing to be daring. She's willing to be bold. She's willing to put herself on the front line. She really does lead by example. She is probably Corban, but as a woman.
Very nice.
Female form of Corban.
Very nice. I need to read the series.
You
I
would
really need to.
love it. If you like Robin Hobb, you would absolutely adore.
Well, that I'm sold then.
Boudica
But yeah, I'm going to be reading that pretty soon as well. But anyway, my favourite male character is Ned Stark from Game of Thrones. He's just
Not a female.
He's just the best, isn't he? He's
Yeah.
just the best. And him being cast as Sean Bean, just perfect, isn't it? But
Sean Bean
in
being
the
classed
book,
as him, do you mean?
yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah,
Ned Stark playing Sean Bean
yeah,
is just brilliant.
that is incredible.
But you knew he was gonna bite the bullet then, didn't he?
Anyway, but Ned Stark is my favourite male character.
Into a book that made us cry then, Will.
Well, I cry at quite a few books, but I've not cried at anything this year. But the closest were, like, there were tears in my eyes, but they didn't quite drip down my face. Is The Gates of
It
Fire.
wasn't raining.
And there's a few moments where I welled up.
Yeah.
It's just about the camaraderie in this and that idea of sacrifice. I think this shows that at times war is shown as heroic, but not in the sense of the actions. It's more about the characters, what they're willing to sacrifice for what they see as the greater good.
Yeah.
And it's written in such a way by Stephen Pressfield where the emotion is just utilised perfectly in the moment. And yeah, there's a few that they made me well up. What about you, Ed?
It's good you admit it, Will. I won't lie, I cried at quite a few books this year.
Well, we've talked about one already, haven't
The
we?
main one was Ride the Wind by Lucia St. Clair. And again, it is this story of the Comanche of Cynthia Ann Parker, who was a young white girl in Texas who was then kidnapped and taken by the Comanche tribes. But then she became a part of them, and then she married an up-and-coming chief. And they had a family together, but it's devastating, the ending. Yeah.
But on to happier things, a book that made me happy. So I'll start off, and I'll say my reread of The Fellowship of the Ring.
Oh, yeah.
The charm, it's like, even though you remember the things that are great about it, it's different when you actually read it again.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah, such a nice cover as well, lovely edition. And I was wondering, I thought there was a mark then. Ed was like, oh, that really scared me for a second. But yeah, that's just the charm. Being in the Shire, you can't get better than that, can you?
And Andy Serkis, have you been listening
Oh,
to it
it's
as well?
fantastic. His narration
is
incredible. He really gets that
It
whole
really
range
gets
of
it,
emotion, doesn't he? From the charming kind of playful nature of the Shire to kind of the chaos of some of the action sequences to the gravitas of like the Council of Elrond. It's brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. So yeah, this made me very happy.
And one that made me happy was actually reading The Way of Idan by Sir Dr. Lord Philip Chase. And yeah, that was just an absolute honour that I will cherish forever. And I've loved having our chats with Philip as well, that we'll probably mention a bit later as well.
Maybe.
But yeah, no, it was such a wonderful book to read and something that I loved because of everything that I love, like Anglo-Saxon, Old Norse, all that kind of stuff. Was all in there, and there were so many influences that
those traditionally fancy elements
I was able to see as
more
well,
modern take.
and that it felt like a book written for me. So yeah, thank you, Philip.
Thank you very much. And next question is most beautiful book that we have bought this year or received.
Ooh.
So I'll go first because it seems Ed's looking
Yeah.
for his. Mine is The Ninth Reign by Jen Williams, and this is a Broken Binding special edition. And the design is fantastic, but also underneath there's this, which is just
That is lovely.
awesome, isn't it? brilliant foil, and inside the design is really nice. It just feels like
everyone says don't judge a book by its cover.
Judge this by its
unless
cover.
it's awesome.
Yeah. And you can just tell it feels like quality as well. And yeah, I've not actually read this, so for me to choose it without any of that sentimentality attached to it says a lot about what a great edition it is.
It does.
But I am looking forward to reading this soon.
Yeah, I've got some really nice editions actually, special editions. But this is when I was in my Conan phase. This is actually my favourite cover of all time, and this is one. It took me a long time to find this book. It's one of the Lancer Conan books, the adventure. It was then written by the Sprague de Camp author after Robert E. Howard. He edited a little bit of the story, but there we go. It's only a small book, but it was hard to find, and I found it, and it's just. I love that picture. I actually have that picture on my wall.
You do. Nicest edition. And next is what is highest on our TBR. So I'll kick this off if that's all right.
Yeah,
so I've got a few. We've got quite a lot, but I'll just go through a few. I'm going to be rereading Hobbes' Realm of the Elderlings, starting right from the beginning, and then this time I'm going to read Live Ship Traders, which I inexcusably skipped last time. I know, it was terrible. But this time I'll be going through it, and then also I'm going to be reading Daughter of Red Winter, Ed McDonald's new release, which I'm really looking forward to.
I've just started that, and the first chapter is...
You said you loved
some of the best writing I've ever read in my whole life.
Very, very high praise. And then also I'm going to be finishing the Saxon stories. I have 3 installments left. I've read 10, so that'll be pretty cool. Did I do it like in Tarantino? What was it, 3? Like that?
Yeah, you did.
And how was it that Mike Fassbender... Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I think he does it like that, but really it should be that.
Yeah.
Or no, or does he do that?
No,
Does he do that?
Yeah.
But yeah, from Inglourious Bastards, Inglourious B word. If I choose 2 that I would like to read this year that aren't coming out this year, I'll choose Roll Assassin by Robin Hobb that I definitely need to get to, and then Titus Andronicus by Shakespeare.
Very nice. Very nice. Oh yeah, some Shakespeare as well. I'd love to read Coriolanus soon. And our next question is, what is our favourite video of the year so far? So I'm going to be sneaky and choose 2.
Me too.
Wow, look at that. So I'm going to pick our chat with Philip Chase.
Me too.
Wow, about his own book, The Way of Edam, which Ed has already mentioned in this video. But that was on his channel, so I've been sneaky getting another one in, and that was Build Your Own Warband. And that was just really fun, making our own group of characters from our favourite books to make our own band, which was... It was pretty awesome.
I would choose the exact same 2, but because you've chosen them,
Yeah.
I will also say our first law rankings were a lot of fun as well.
Yeah.
I probably enjoyed guessing what yours were more, but it was upsetting to see the heroes so low. So maybe that's my least favourite.
You've not forgiven me for that yet.
It was heartbreaking, Will.
I'm sorry.
You should apologise to Joe.
I'm sorry.
You should apologise to Joe.
I did premise it by saying every book here I really enjoyed. So, there we go.
You should say sorry to God.
I should say
Paul
sorry
Bremer.
to Miles. Paul Bremer. I think he's got bigger things to worry about. But anyway, now on to our last question, I believe, which is, who do we tag? I think it's something about who's your favourite in the BookTube community, but Abby changed it to people should tag, so we will follow in suit. So I think we have 4, don't we, Ed?
So I would like to tag Jimmy Nuts. Jimmy Nuts, I'd love to see your answers.
And I will tag Sarah Reeds. Well, Sarah from Sarah Reeds.
And I will tag Alan from the Library of Alexandria. Again, I would love to see his answers.
And then Truebeard Reviews, I will tag him as well.
Very nice. And that is all the questions. That's all we have time for on today's show. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any thoughts on our books that we've read or any answers for any of these questions, please pop them in the comments below. We'd love to chat to you there.
Yeah, thank you so much. Just make your own video if you have a channel and do this. It'd be very interesting to see your answers to these questions. But thank you so much for watching. Truth and Courage, the Brothers Gwynne.
Truth and Courage from the Brothers Gwynne.